tool. And so let's get started here. So you notice that there's a solid, solid lines that show you the big polygons. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. Very important. So that's what I'm going to start with. The number of sides. You've got a triangle, you've got a trapezoid, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a pentagon here. They're all isosceles shapes because they are inside a regular polygon, right? So this part here, they all measure the same, all these segments here, which allow us to conclude that the two angles that are formed by the diagonal are going to be the same. Okay, so I'm kind of like teaching you this one more time. It doesn't matter where you want to start. I'm going to start with x because it's the interior angle anyways. So I'm going to do that here. So that would be 13 minus 2 times 180 degrees over 13. That is 152.31 degrees. Okay, so I'll give you 1 mark for that, for having x calculated. Okay, and then we'll move on. Maybe we'll do y next. It's inside that triangle here. So angle y is 180 minus one of the interior angles divided by 2. Okay, so angle y is going to be 13.85. Okay, if you subtract and then divide by 2, 13.85 degrees. I'll give you a mark for that as well. I think I'm going to move on to Z here. This is the trapezoid. So angle Z, that's a 360 sum of interior angles minus 2 times 152.31. So again, maybe I should mention, if you made a mistake on the interior angle, technically you wouldn't be losing marks like here and here because you're using that. If I see it, that's why showing work is very important, right? If I see that, I would still honor it, right? So we will find out what the top is divided by 2. So maybe I should show you one more time, right? 360 minus 2 times 152.31. I hit enter, then I divide by 2. So that's 27.69 degrees. That's another mark. Okay. What else is missing? J. Okay, we're going to figure out angle J. So that's a sum of 540. So let's say you end up with an isosceles octagon. Let's say, right? I hope that you would know how to find the sum of interior angles, right? It's n minus 2 times 180, right? But most of them we'll just memorize. So 540 minus, we've got 1, 2, 3 interior angles. We figure out what that is, and then we just split that in half. So J, I would strongly suggest to show what this is before dividing by 2, just in case. But in this case, it's 41.54. Okay, that's another mark there. And then last but not least, we're going to find F right here. Angle F is really the interior angle, right, at B here, basically, that interior angle. And then we're going to subtract Z and Y from it. Because I know if this is Y, this is also Y here. So I'm going to go minus angle Z minus angle Y. Z, and my work here is 2769, and angle Y is 1385. So you get 110.77 degrees for angle F. And I will tell you this for tests and everything, always clearly indicate the final answers. Okay? Either labeling it or circling or whatever. In this case, there are many answers that need to be calculated. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks for this part. And we didn't do B, right? So this whole page is essentially worth 5. Any questions? Can I just tell you, some students I've seen, they kind of take the dashed line here, the triangle there, like they see some kind of shape here, and then they want to use the same idea that you can't use this unless you use the outside of that big polygon. Like you can't just create one inside. It doesn't work. This is not isosceles, right? This one here. So keep that in mind. Backside. A backwards question there. If the interior angle is 176, calculate the number of sides. So we know that the formula for an interior angle is n minus 2 times 180 divided by n, right? So we equate those. We multiply both sides by n, and that gives you 176n, and then we distribute here. That's 180n minus 360. I subtract 180n from both sides. That leaves me with negative 4n here and negative 360 there. Divide both sides by negative 4, and is equal to 90 sides. Okay. My favorite method, E, is 180 minus 176. So that's 4 degrees. 4 degrees is equal to 360 over n. N is equal to 360 times 1, right? Cross multiply divided by 4, which is still 90 sides. Regardless of how you did it, you got the 2 marks there. I would say you get 1 mark if you, like this part right here, I would give it a mark, and this part right here, I would give it another mark. So the setup and then some work there, where you multiply by n, for sure 1 mark. And if you did it this way, I'll give you 1 mark for figuring out the exterior, and then 1 mark for that second part there. Tiling, we're going to learn about that today. So let's do the last one here. So 2 marks, and I'm curious if you remember this one. I saw a bunch of you highlighting the parallel lines. So there are 3 parallel lines. So basically they're copies, right? Think of them as copies of each other. Determine, explain how you know. You may only use an explanation once. I won't care today really that much. So if you did it, way to go. Where do I start? I'm going to start right here with K because it's vertically opposite. So this is my start. So I'm just going to say that's 50 degrees. Vertically opposite angles are congruent. Next, I am going to use, I'm going to find X next here. I don't know if you see, remember I told you travel on one transversal, so you travel on this transversal here. So I compare this one to this one. Right? Those are actually corresponding. So angle X, this is my second one, it's 50 as well. Corresponding angles are congruent. So some students find it helpful to actually fill in the angles as they solve. There's nothing, well, there's Z here, but remember Z is also touching another transversal, so be careful not to make any conclusions there. I'm going to leave that for now, and I'm going to focus on this other transversal here. Let's see what we can do there. Okay, I know that these two are called alternate exterior. So I'm going to find Y, that's my third choice, and that's just 115. Why? Because alternate exterior angles are congruent when, if and only if lines are parallel. I have to say that, right? That's why we can make that assumption. Next, I'm going to find T. T and X, they're supplementary, right? It's a straight angle. So I'm going to find that next. That's number 4 here. Just going to go 180 minus 115. And that is 65 degrees. Straight angle is equal to 180. So there we go, 65. So I'll write that in, 115, 65. And then D, you have got options here. You can either, watch this, you can either say this one and this one are alternate interior, or you can, what are these two here? CIAs, remember that those? Right, these are CIAs, so we can actually just find it that way. So that's my fifth choice. 180 minus 115 is 65. Consecutive interior angles are equal to 180. So that's 65. So I know this is 65 now. And now I can find Z because it's along this straight angle here. So I'm just going to take these two away from 180. And some of you might say, well, Mr. Dirksen, I see a triangle right here. I'm just going to subtract these two numbers from 180. You get the same answer, right? So it's okay. So I'm just going to go 180 minus 50 minus 65. Is that 65? That is 65. So straight angle. Oh, I used straight angle already. So I will use sum of triangle just to get that right. Okay, so that's my last angle. So basically what I give you 1 mark for the correct angle and the correct explanation. Okay. And obviously if there is a chance that you have a different explanation, that's okay. I usually figure it out. So if you get the right number, chances are your explanation is right. Okay. So what is 6 marks attached to this question right here? So 6 and 2 makes this page worth 8. And the front is 5. So 8 and 5, we are 13 total here. So we're going to adjust our, I just make a line right through it and just say it's out of 13. Just make sure your name and last name is on there. And name and mark, and I'll collect